Hey guys. So we're going to start off with, we're just going to add some functions and then it's going to look really weird, but then we're just going to figure it out together. We got this. All right. So right here it says g plus g of x. And really all we're doing is practicing what we did yesterday. So g plus g of x is just use g twice. So here's g. We're going to use this twice. So we've got x plus 3 plus x plus 3. So then we have x's to combine. So x plus x. How many x's is that? You're right, 2x. And then we've got 2 3's to combine. So we've got 3 and 3. What's 3 plus 3? You're right, it's 6. So we've got 2x plus 6. And that's our g plus g of x. Now, all this super fancy thing down here, it says find g plus g of x when x equals -3, 0, and 1. This just means plug in -3, plug in 0, and plug in 1. We're going to get 3 answers. So we're going to do 2 times -3 plus 6. We're also going to do 2 times 0 plus 6. And we're also going to do 2 times 1 plus 6. All we did was take our fancy dancy formula and we plugged in the 3. We plugged in the 0. We plugged in the 1. All right, so we take our handy dandy calculator. We do 2 times -3 plus 6 and you get 0. And then if you take your handy dandy calculator again and do 2 times 0 plus 6, you get 6. And if you do 2 times 1 plus 6, you get 8. So we have 0, 6, and 8 as our 3 answers. Perfect. How you feeling? I'm feeling pretty good. All right, let's move on. All right, so here we go. We have got f of x equals 2x minus 5, and g of x equals -3x plus 1. Notice this time it wants us to do f minus g of x. So I'm going to write the f function first. So 2x minus 5. And then we're going to minus the g function. So -3x plus 1. And hopefully you remember from last time, this means there's an invisible -1 right here that we have to distribute through. So we have 2x minus 5. And then we have -1 times -3 is positive 3x. And then -1 times positive 1 is a -1. Okay, so now we're going to combine like terms. So we have 2x and 3x, which together gives us 5x. And then we also have a -5 and a -1. And together that gives us a -6. Okay, so we have 5x minus 6. So we know that f minus g of x equals 5x minus 6. So we're just going to take our fancy dancy formula and we're going to plug in a lot of different numbers. We're going to plug in a -5, a 0, a 1, and a 2.5. So that means I've got 5 times -5 minus 6. I've also got 5 times 0 minus 6. I've got 5 times 1 minus 6. And I also have 5 times 2.5 minus 6. So we're going to end up with 4 different answers because we have 4 different things to plug in. So if I do 5 times -5 minus 6, I get -31. And if I do 5 times 0 minus 6, I get -6. If I do 5 times 1 minus 6, I get -1. And if I do 5 times 2.5 minus 6, I get 6.5. So we had -31, -6, -1, and 6.5 is our answers. Okay, if you need more time with that, please rewind the video, pause the video, do whatever you need. I believe in you. You've got this. All right, so right here, we're going to take these two functions and we're just going to subtract them. But notice this time it's g minus f. So that means we're going to take our g function first. So we've got x plus 3, and then we're going to subtract our f function second. That's going to be 4x minus 2. And please remember, this is a -1, so we have to distribute it through. So this just stays as x plus 3, and then -1 times 4 is -4x. Then -1 times -2 is a positive 2. So now we need to combine like terms. We have x minus 4x, which is a negative 3x. And then we also have a positive 3 and a positive 2. 3 plus 2 is a positive 5. So we know that g minus f of x equals negative 3x minus 5. Notice it doesn't always have to be f first. That's the biggest thing about this problem. The g is first, so the g function goes first. That's why. Okay, let's move on. Right here, we have f first, so that means we're going to write the f, and it's a plus. So we're going to have our f first. And that's going to be 4x minus 8. And then we're adding. And then we're going to have our g. And that'll be 2x. Because we're adding, there's nothing to distribute. So we just have to combine like terms. So we have a 4x and a 2x. 4 plus 2 is 6. And then we have negative 8 plus nothing. So it's just negative 8. It has nothing to combine with. So we've got f plus g of x equals that. How you feeling? Hopefully pretty good. All right, let's move on. We've only got 3 more slides. And the last slide's just saying what we learned. All right, so this one we're going to do f minus g. So we're going to start with f. So we've got 4x plus 8. And then we're subtracting, so there's going to be a minus. And then we're going to do g. So we have 2x. Now please remember there's a negative 1 right there. Please remember to distribute it, even though it's to only one thing. So we've got 4x plus 8. And the negative 1 times 2 is negative 2x. So this time we have a 4x and a negative 2x. So 4x minus 2x is 2x. And then 8 has nothing to combine with, so we just have plus 8. So when we have f minus g of x, we get this function right here. How you feeling? We're almost done. We're so flipping close. All right. So given h of x equals x squared plus 8x plus 3, and j of x equals x plus 3, we're going to find h minus j, and then we're going to find h plus j. So on this one, we're going to start with h. So we've got x squared plus 8x plus 3, and then we're going to subtract jx, which is x plus 3. Now remember this little negative 1 and distribute it through. So I have x squared plus 8x plus 3 equals, not equals, struggle is real. Negative 1 times x is negative x. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. So now we need to combine like terms. So there's a positive 8x and a negative x. There's no x squared, so I'm just going to leave that as x squared. 8x minus x is positive 7x. And then the other like term is a positive 3 and a negative 3, which 3 plus 3 is 0. So then h minus j of x equals that equation there. All right, then let's do h plus j of x. So we're going to do that h function again. So we've got x squared plus 8x plus 3, and then we're going to add j. So we've got x plus 3. Now, because we have no negative 1, we just combine like terms. So again, there's nothing to combine with the x squared, so it's just x squared. But this time we have an 8x and an x. What's 8 plus 1? 9. So we have 9x. And then right here we've got a 3 and a 3. 3 plus 3 is 6, so we've got plus 6. So we've got h plus j of x. And that's my answer. How are you feeling? You feeling okay? All right, we've only got 2 more slides. The second to last one is a word problem. So you make $475 per week, plus you have a savings account that has $75 in it. You also spend $380 every 2 weeks. So right now we've got $475 per week, and I'm just going to label that W plus my $75 for my savings. Okay, you also spend $380 per week, so that's going to be minus $380 per week on all that swag you need. Apparently, you need swag. Model the scenario as two different equations. So this is how much I earn. So money in the positive, and this is money in the negative. Equals that, equals that. And we're going to combine them to see if we are making enough money or we need to find a new job. So right here, we're going to have our $475 per week plus our $75 in our savings. And then we're going to add that to our negative $380 that we're spending per week. Okay, so right now I see two like terms. I have $475 that I'm earning per week and negative $380 that I'm losing per week. So I would take my $475 and I would subtract my $380, and I have $95 left over. So then I would have I should write in a pen, not a highlighter. $95 per week plus the $75 in my savings. So, am I earning money or am I losing money? I'm earning money. I'm making enough. Don't worry, real life is a whole lot more complicated than that. All right, so now we've got one last problem. Notice these both have x squared, so that just means that we have more x squareds to consider. So this one we're going to do f minus g. So we're going to take our f function. So in our f function, we have x squared plus 8x plus 3. And we're going to subtract our g function, which is 4x squared plus 3x plus 2. So the first thing I need to remember is this is a -1, and I need to distribute it to everything in here. So I have x squared plus 8x plus 3, and then -1 times 4x squared is negative 4x squared. -1 times 3x is negative 3x, and -1 times 2 is negative 2. So now I'm just going to combine like terms. So I have an x squared and a negative 4x squared. So that's a negative 3x squared. And then I have an 8x and a negative 3x. So together that's a positive 5x. Then on this last one, I have a 3 and a negative 2. 3 minus 2 is a positive 1. There's my final answer. All right, let's do this last one. So on this last one, we're going to have f plus g. So we're going to put our f function here, and then we're going to have plus, and then we'll have our g function here. So our f function is x squared plus 8x plus 3, and then we're adding 4x squared plus 3x plus 2. Now here we just need to combine like terms. So we have an x squared and a 4x squared. So together that's 5x squared, because 1 plus 4 is 5. All right. What about this 8x and this 3x? So together, 8 plus 3, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that's 11x. And then this last one is 3 and 2. 3 plus 2 is 5. So we just have plus 5. So there is the functions added together. Okay, hopefully you guys did really well on this. I love you. You've got this. I'll talk to you soon.